edizione.
Ciao!
Sono Elisa e sto andando dai miei per le vacanze.
Di che cosa si ciba il clown di It? Bambini.
Paura. I bambini sono solo un mezzo. Pennywise mangia la loro paura.
It's a good movie.
Mark!
No, I mean, congratulations on the movie. I watched it the other day, and it's right. I loved it. I mean, as much as I love Midsummer and all these really kind of serious films, I love the fact that this is a throwback, but it's so self-aware. Even the name, A Classic Horror Story. Was it always your intention to make a film that was so aware of what it was doing, even though it was going to be its own thing?
Yes, I mean, we wanted to build like a classic horror story with using obviously all the cliche that we found in all the movies that we watched when we were kids, and then for the entire rest of our life, we were just crazy about the idea of building like an entire story that started from there, and then that could go to something new. When I'm talking to something new, obviously I'm talking about something that is especially connected to our country, and also in this case to a cliche of our country, that is the mafia. And so, I mean, it's like watching for the first time an horror movie that starts from our childhood and from the cliche of the best genre for us, that is the horror genre, and goes to the cliche of Italian, that is like mafia. There is also spaghetti in the end of the movie. Frames in the last part of the movie, there is like a woman that is cooking spaghetti. So like we just put there all the cliche of Italians in the world. But yeah, we wanted talking like seriously about the meaning of the movie. We wanted to start from something that the audience could understand, because they watched like us like hundreds of movies that starts like this, the classic group of guys that goes with a classic RV for a trip, and then suddenly like the dead animal in the middle of the street is the reason of the incident, and then they after the incident they wake up in the wood in front of the classic horror house from Sam Raimi, Evil Dead. Like it's everything, it's like everything, but then at some point there is like the Italian folklore that comes in the storyline and tells you that maybe the movie is going to go somewhere else. This was our goal, like one of the main goals that we had.
What would you say was the first idea that you had? Was it to be reminiscent of other films, or did you actually have a story that transformed into something that you thought this would be a good idea to use a lot more references, and it came from the story? Which came first?
The first idea was paying homage to everything that really taught the horror genre to us as kids. We wanted to build this big Luna Park in which we can have fun, but we could also make other people have fun. We wanted to build something that was recognizable for a community. But of course, this is not a story. This is just a desire. This is just something that us as horror directors wanted to do. And Roberto had this story. The first draft was only by Roberto. And right. When we met to talk about this story, we understood there was a big chance. There was the chance not only to talk about the films that made us grow as persons and as horror lovers, but also to talk about the possibility of doing this genre in Italy. So we could talk about Italian cinema. We could talk what it is possible, what it is not possible to do in Italian cinema. Yeah. And this is not just a film aware of the horror tropes, but this is aware of the impossibility. How do you say, the impossibility to do this, to shoot these horror tropes in Italy, because they are not part of our culture, and we wanted to think of that, to make the sea, and it's in the same way doing it. We wanted to do, I mean, two things at the same time, and we wanted to do a meta cinema with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm glad you said that, because that's very much why I enjoyed the film so much, because it was so meta, but at the same time there was this constant social commentary about you can't make horror movies in Italy anymore. So we got Welcome to Friends of Fabrizio now with his Instagram, because it was, without giving anything else away about the film, this is the only kind of way that somebody can get their content out to people, no, in Italy, who want to make films, no? So did the film come from a very personal place? Do you find it very, very difficult to make films, whether it be horror or whatever genre you want to try? Did the story come from that personal place that you've been trying for years to try and get something off the ground, and it was impossible?
In Italy, it's very difficult.
In Italy is very complicated. In fact, I'm a little bit worried about this. In fact, can like just ask you a question? I'm sorry if now I'm like taking your place, but I'm very curious about
that's okay.
well, as an audience, when you watch the movie, what did you think about the fact that we were talking about the Italian situation, like about the fact that in Italy is kind of impossible to make this genre? As an audience that is not Italian, what did you think about this? Honestly, I mean, it's something that for you is like less important than the rest, or it took anyway your attention?
No, for me, I loved the fact that it was a film that was very reminiscent of other films. But then when we find this element that references the difficulties of getting back to, say, the 60s, 70s giallo heyday, the golden era, that for me was very, 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 that made the film a lot more than it would have been, I think.
This is what I really hope to hear, and I'm happy what you are talking about. Yes, in fact, we wanted to talk especially about two themes that were like this, we call that spettacolarizzazione. I do not say when we have in TV, but I think it's not only an Italian problem. I think it's worldwide like this. There is always like some news about someone that is dead, or some murder, some homicide, this kind of things in the TV, and everybody's always talking about that, and people love to sit in front of the TV and watch for hours, for days, for months, real death in TV. And what we wanted to say with this movie also is that people in Italy, and maybe not only in Italy, are afraid, or just they don't trust that much Italian horror movies to go in the cinema to watch them. In fact, we don't have like other countries, like I don't know, like France, like Spain, like huge box office success in the past. The last success was Dario Argento, La Terza Madre, the third mother, that is like, I don't know, 15 years ago, I don't know, 20 years ago, I don't remember. And it's like a shame, because we invented this genre together with with English directors and screenwriters, and should be like proud of our country. Instead, it's almost a shame when you make an horror movie. And this is what our movie wants to tell to the audience. Stop considering this genre a B genre, a B movie, because it's not like this. And like, as like a prank of the destiny, we are making a movie that talks about a director that is Fabrizio, that cannot make real horror movies because the system doesn't allow him to do that. And so it's like me and Paolo and I, we are talking through the character of Fabrizio, because we are Fabrizio, sadly, we are Fabrizio in real life. And so we are saying to people through this movie, stop like watching death in TV, come and watch where it's not real in cinema.
Why do you think that Italy is so reticent? Do you understand reticent about making horror movies, not just for Italy, but for an international audience, especially given the history that they have?
Because we didn't have any good movie that went in theaters and was good enough to make people trust this genre for 30 years. If you ask me or Paolo, did you go to the cinema in the last, I don't know, Paolo is 28, I'm 39. In the last 39 years, did you go to the cinema to watch an horror movie in Italy? I say yes, two times in my entire life. Can you imagine? This is just incredible. I think no other directors in any other country can say something like that. And this is the reason why Italian audience, I'm talking obviously not about like people that love horror movies, but especially the 80% of the rest of the audience, they just didn't go for their entire life. And so now to take them and put them in the theater to watch an Italian horror movie or trust an Italian horror movie, you have a very long way to walk. And this is the reason why for 30 years nothing happened, and now something starts to go out to be produced. And the huge like a bet is to see how they react to movies like our.
Well, fingers crossed. Now that it's going to be on Netflix and it's going to be all around, it's going to be an international release. Hopefully, I mean, I certainly realized that you were trying to explain that through the film. So hopefully Netflix and kind of the international audience will realize what you're trying to explain or to get across, no? And something will come from it, no?
Yes, in fact, Netflix is the first, how can I say, the first wonderful surprise of this experience, because it wasn't granted, it wasn't sure that they were trusting the movie and investing in the movie so much. I'm talking especially about the promotion, the marketing ideas that they are developing in this period. Because it happened with other movies that they just shared the trailer, the teaser, or just the trailer, and then some clip after the release. It's something that they can do. Instead, they built an entire and wonderful campaign, especially in Italy. And for this, we are very happy, because it's like the first step. You cannot make audience trust in this genre if then you don't do this kind of
promote it afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to come back to the film again, because there's a few things. I mean, that's the message of the film, but the actual film itself, I'm curious about the actual, when they get to this place in the middle of the woods, is that house, was that something that existed already, or is that something that you created? And also, is this kind of, I won't give too many details away, but is the legend, the kind of urban legend that surrounds this house and this place, is that something that actually exists, or is that all completely invented?
We're in the middle of the woods. Non siamo I primi.
Che cos'è? È la leggenda di Osso Mastrosso e Carcagnosso.
The house is not there. It was not there. It's not there now. It was built for the film, and we tried to make a design that could blend the horror tropes, the horror cliches of the house in the wood, especially the cliche of American house in the wood, with something new, with something more angular, more weird. And we really talked about a lot. We did a lot of drawing. Me and Roberto, we cannot draw, so it was even stranger. But
the effect is brilliant. The houses and the lighting behind it is just fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you. So okay, it's good. I won't blame Roberto and me not to that we cannot draw. So, but yes, we wanted to make something, of course, that could scare us as well, and we came up with this, and it's really simple. It had to be weirder outside and more classical inside, and then we have this cabin. And if the house did not exist, and now it's obviously not there anymore, the cult really existed. The cult really exists, and it's a cult about the three founders of mafia, the three biggest kinds of mafia in Italy, who are mafia, Cosa Nostra, 'Ndrangheta, and Camorra. And that legend is a little bit different in the reality. We worked a lot with consulants. We worked a lot on with how do you say, people who study. Sorry for our English, seriously. For
No, it's okay.
People who study this cult, and we
Right.
try to transform it into something more to fit an horror movie. Okay, right. It's a story about three knights who comes from Spain, and we wanted to make them like three horror villains. And so we took that story, and it's exactly the story with elements that could blend the horror tradition and the reality.
Okay.
Yeah, the legend. I just wanted to add something to what Paolo said about the legend, because the legend, like Paolo said, it's real, and maybe it's funny. It's like good thing to say how we discovered it, because in the beginning, this legend wasn't in the movie. Our villains were like three normal villains, like I don't know. As an example, obviously, like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and something like that. They were just three very bad guys with masks. Maybe they were supernatural, maybe not, but they were just three invented villains. Then Netflix asked us to work more on the direction of the Italian folklore. And they asked us to make a research, and our screenwriters, Lucio Besana, Emilio Tissone, and David Bellini, they made a research. And Emilio Tissone, that is also a professor in a very important school in Italy, and is he studies like the folklore
anthropology.
Anthropology, and he discovered the legend that we never heard before, actually, and it was weird to know, because there is Roberto Saviano, that is a very important Italian writer that wrote Gomorra, this TV series, and he always explained the mafia especially to students, and starting exactly from the legend of Osso, Mastrosso, and Carcagnosso that created the mafia. They came from Spain, and they created mafia starting from Sicily. So it was kind of fun to build the first horror movie with mafia, starting from something real. This is, I think, very important because it's not just invented.
And then I want to speak a little bit about the cast. Obviously, Matilda, she's making a really big name for herself in the genre. I mean, obviously, recently she made Revenge, which was a fantastic movie. Did you specifically go for Matilda as the lead character in the film, or was that just something that came by in the casting process?
What do you?
Bye, Paolo.
Matilda was we at the start we were looking for a younger girl. We wanted 18, 19 girl, but we met a lot of girls, a lot of young actresses. Of course, there were a lot of good actresses, but we, of course, are a fan of Matilda, and we decided to meet Matilda. We were kind of scared because Revenge is a pretty popular film in Italy as well, and we didn't want to have the main actress of Revenge. We wanted our final girl, okay? And but when we met Matilda, she was at LA at the time. She lived there. We met her, and we was, wow, okay, she's older than what we think, but she has that kind of sweetness, that kind of mother. Mother.
That was one of my questions, because she's just recently become a mother about 2 or 3 years ago. So that must have really helped the whole process, no?
Absolutely. She was the only one of the actresses we did the casting, and we did the how do you say, provino?
What's that? Improvisation casting, or?
Yes, the improvisation casting that gave us that kind of feeling. She
Right.
is a mother, and that really helped us to build this character.
Definitely. And then another character that I have to ask you about, because of me being British, you've got a British actor in there. He's quite a curious character. He's not a very likable character. Was there any specific reason why the English character wasn't particularly likable for you?
No, what we love,
we
love exactly. It's weird.
Why?
Because, yeah. Oh, I have a question. Did you watch the movie with subtitles or dubbed?
No, I watched it in dub.
Okay, let me explain something, because there is something that we really don't like about that. Because the point is that we didn't have any control on the dubbing, anyone.
Right.
And Paolo maybe is the person that can answer this question, because I didn't have the courage to watch the movie dubbed, because let me shut up. Just Paolo reply.
I watched the film in every language. Yes, I mean, obviously, of course, there is a direction of dubbing. We did not take part in the dubbing process, and there are something that we made in the film, some intention, some that is not in the dubbed version, and for us, it's something. I mean, something I don't want to say we don't like. It's just different, and especially the characters of Sofia and of Fabrizio. There is a pretty good actor, but Italian actor dubbing Fabrizio, because they want this strong. They did want this strong accent, Italian accent, because in the film, in the original language, he had this accent, but regional accent, Calabrian accent. It was something realistic, okay? And they did want, they wanted to keep in the English version, but of course with the whole Italian accent. And for us, I mean, when we listened, okay, it's a choice, but we hope it's not disturbing for the person who watch. And Sofia, of course, is really different because it's a lighter character. There is a
about Will. Tell him about Will. About the fact
and Will. Yes, you saw dubbed version. Will is so different because it was the weirder experience, because in an original version, Will talks in English. I mean, he acted in English, not in Italian, but of course, for a dubbing reason, he also had to dub it himself.
Dubbed as well, right?
And changing the character,
but he changed the character. He made more serious. He made more. I mean, he tells shit, but with this serious feeling. It's a way more likable character in the original version.
Yeah, in fact, it's incredible. It's incredible that the dubbing can change a character, and this is something that shouldn't happen. Because I mean, there are directors. There is a director. In this case, there are two directors. I mean, I just don't understand why the dubbing should change the character, the intention of the acting, and and you are the proof that this is something that shouldn't happen, because the character is absolutely normal and lovable. The way he talks is of a nice guy that doesn't want to argue with anybody, that is always nice. He is angry only after the incident, obviously, because there is Fabrizio that is trying to create problems in the group, saying it's his fault. He's the reason why we made the incident, and he's just also accusing he's also receiving all the accusers, being
accusations of all the people. The people that it's his fault now.
Yes, he's saying, but what was my fault? I was just for a split second looking distracted. I didn't do anything incredible. He asks sorry many times during the scene, and also during the scene during the night. I mean, and instead you are saying that why the British character was the asshole of the group. I mean, and I was asshole of the group, really? What movie did you watch? I hope that people will watch with subtitles because they will watch another movie with dubbing.
Ma perché nessuno lo dice? Questo è proprio il classico film dell'orrore.
This is going to come out soon. We have no idea what's going to happen, but I imagine it's going to do really well. I hope so, because I loved it and I thought the message was really important. If this goes really well, could you see you following on with this, or do you have plans to do something else straight afterwards?
If this is a successful film, and we hope that, but we don't know. It's really okay.
I'm very I'm really superstitious. Like
Superstitious, no, yeah.
I'm really superstitious. I really don't want to hear Paolo saying that. Anyway, I go, Paolo. Go. Sorry.
No, just that we would love to expand the world of A Classic Horror Story, and of course we have ideas, but let's see.
Let's see what happens. No?
I just wanted to add something that it's my biggest like not fear, my biggest curiosity, that is also fear, is exactly what I asked you before. How people abroad, the people abroad will react to the meta cinematic part of the movie that is completely connected to Italy. Is that my biggest curiosity?
I honestly, from my personal opinion, I honestly don't think you need to worry about that at all. I don't think you need to be worried about that. Obviously, people have different opinions, but I think the majority will think the same thing. You know, that I really appreciated the message that you were trying to get across in the film. So listen, best of luck with the film. Best of luck with the football on Sunday as well. The best team win, and I hope to speak to you sometime soon.
We hope so. Howard, thank you very, very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend. Bye now. Take care.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Tu sei la più preziosa qui.